It's Celebrity Guest Host Monday, and it's time to wish a very good morning to Fox 2 News reporter and morning anchor. It's Amy Andrews. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. I'm not sure why you had me here on Guest Celebrity, but thanks for thinking of me.
I know you've been on TV, but once you've been on radio, once you've been on my show, you'll be a star.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
I'm not yet. I'm still waiting.
That's what I heard. I'm like, man, Chris is Detroit.
Yeah, right. Listen, I wanted to ask you, first of all, I mean, we all see you on TV all the time. You're very professional. You do a great job. But we'd like to know a little bit more about your family. I know you have a new child. And
I do. She just turned 3. Her name's Grace Elizabeth, and boy, she's a whippersnapper.
Is she?
Yes.
The acorn does not fall far from the mighty oak.
That's true. She's just like her dad and I. No, she's beautiful, wonderful, love of my life.
So Valentine's Day is Thursday. I understand you have a pretty romantic story about how you ended up marrying your husband.
Oh, I do. My husband and I were middle school sweethearts. We actually went to the Sadie Hawkins dance together when we were in 7th or 8th grade. And then I moved away. My family moved around all the time because my dad worked in the auto industry. And we didn't talk to each other until, I was maybe 28.
Wow.
And showed up on one of his friends' MySpace page. He saw my picture.
MySpace, wow.
Yeah, remember MySpace?
Oh, yeah.
And he emailed me through his friend's MySpace page, and then we started just emailing back and forth. And, it was meant to be. So we went for our first date was at Cedar Point. We wanted to meet like halfway because I lived in Michigan at the time. He was in Indiana. And, we fell in love at Cedar Point.
Isn't that funny? Had you remembered knowing him in junior high?
Oh, absolutely. I just thought he was the biggest stud in junior high, let me tell you. And then he played... I went to a rival high school, and he was a really good basketball player, and I was a cheerleader. So I remember seeing him, but, we just never really kept in touch when we were in high school. So.
And it just came all flowing right back 20 years later, huh?
It just all came back,
That's
so
really
romantic.
Cool. It is romantic. I ran into Charlie LaDuff in the hall. He says you're an ace softball player. You are a sports junkie, aren't you?
I am, absolutely. I don't know if I'm still an ace softball player, but I like to watch sports. I love football. I love hockey. I love golf. I love baseball. I love basketball. You name it, I love it.
So you do follow the Lions.
Yes.
What needs to be done? How are we ever going to get to the Super Bowl? One of only 4 teams in the entire NFL have never been in the Super Bowl.
I just don't know. I think that the players all work very hard. I think that, the city, we love our Lions. I think the coaching staff is doing the best they can. So, I don't know. If I had that answer, then I'd go work for them again.
There you go. Did you work for them at one time?
I interned for them.
What was that like, being a woman in the middle of it still is pretty much a man's world down there. That must have been rather unusual.
It was really tough. And I was young, obviously, at the time. So you still had people who weren't used to seeing young, blonde around the locker room. And you have to kind of claw for your way to get respect. And I think once people learn about you and realize that you mean business, then it's not that tough of a job anyway. But
cool. Thank you so much for being with us. It's Amy Andrews from Fox 2. You can watch her early in the morning, also reporting and do stories that run all through the day on Fox 2. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
My absolute pleasure. Anytime.